Welcome to section 20.1, Energy Flow Through Ecosystems. Every ecosystem, whether it's a rainforest, coral reef, or tide pool, runs on energy. Energy enters ecosystems mostly from the sun, flows through organisms in food chains and food webs, and is eventually lost as heat. Understanding this flow helps us explain why ecosystems look the way they do and why they have limits. By the end of this section, you should be able to describe the major types of ecosystems on Earth, differentiate between food chains and food webs, explain how organisms acquire energy, and analyze how the efficiency of energy transfer affects ecosystems. An ecosystem includes all the living organisms, plants, animals, fungi, and microbes, plus the abiotic environment of soil, water, and air. Ecosystems vary widely in scale, from vast tropical rainforests to something as small as a tide pool or even just a patch of desert soil. Ecosystems are grouped into three broad categories. Freshwater ecosystems cover just under 2% of Earth's surface. Marine ecosystems dominate, covering about 75%. Terrestrial ecosystems include our familiar biomes like forests, deserts, and grasslands. Each type is defined by distinctive environmental conditions and species. Freshwater ecosystems, like lakes, rivers, streams, and springs, are small in global area, but biologically rich. They host fish, amphibians, aquatic plants, fungi, and a staggering diversity of microorganisms. These systems are vital for human societies as sources of drinking water and food. Marine ecosystems cover most of the planet. Shallow coastal oceans, deep seas, and seafloor communities all belong here. Importantly, phytoplankton in marine waters carry out much of Earth's photosynthesis, making them the base of marine food webs and critical to global oxygen production. Terrestrial ecosystems, also known as biomes, are defined by climate and dominant vegetation. Tropical rainforests, savannas, deserts, tundras, and temperate forests all fall in this category. Biomes influence global patterns of biodiversity and energy flow. A food chain is a linear sequence of energy transfer. Energy moves from producers to herbivores to carnivores to apex predators. While simple and easy to visualize, food chains oversimplify real ecosystems. Still, they are useful for illustrating the idea of trophic levels. Food webs are a more accurate picture for organizing predator-prey relationships. They show multiple feeding relationships and the interconnectedness of species. Food webs include both grazing pathways, starting with plants or algae, and detrital pathways, starting with decomposers. This complexity makes ecosystems more resilient. Energy enters food webs through autotrophs. Photoautotrophs, like plants and algae, capture sunlight. Chemoautotrophs, which are found in extreme environments like hydrothermal vents, use energy from inorganic molecules. Without autotrophs producing organic molecules, food webs would collapse. At deep sea vents where sunlight never reaches, bacteria use hydrogen sulfide or methane as an energy source in a process called chemosynthesis. These microbes form the base of entire ecosystems, supporting clams, tube worms, and crabs. Heterotrophs acquire energy by eating others. Primary consumers are herbivores. Secondary and tertiary consumers are carnivores. Apex predators sit at the top. Each step transfers energy, but less efficiently, setting limits on how many levels a food web can support. Energy transfer is inefficient. On average, only about 10% of the energy in one trophic level makes it to the next. The rest is lost as heat or waste. This explains why food chains are short. We rarely see more than 4 or 5 trophic levels in ecosystems. This slide shows PCB contamination in Puget Sound. PCBs are toxic industrial chemicals that accumulate in fat. Small organisms absorb trace amounts, but as predators eat prey, concentrations of PCBs magnify up the food chain. Top predators, including humans, face the greatest risks: cancer, immune suppression, and reproductive harm. Ecosystems can be freshwater, marine, or terrestrial. Food chains show simple energy pathways, while food webs capture real world complexity. Autotrophs bring energy in, and heterotrophs pass it along. Energy transfer is inefficient, limiting the number of trophic levels. And pollutants can accumulate, magnifying harm across food webs.